this is possible if I can fit it here. Not the new one, it's just a rebuild. What the f? Is it again? There's no have anything to hold the pads. I'm from Finland. Take it out.
Hi, I am Sami and I want to be Overlander. But first I revealed my ego.
Hello and good morning from Wannabe Overlander YouTube channel. At this episode we are planning to have some progress for this T4 project. You might remember I have a problem with the wheel hubs. I have these original wheel hubs here. Now I start to install bearings. I'm not going to filming that so much because I already have a video about that. I can show you just to fit them inside a little bit, and then we're planning to install brakes. Perhaps I can't do all the way fluid inside because I'm missing some hose for the clutch. If I can get that hose done, then I can put the fluid also for the brakes. But this video goal is installing the all hardware for the brakes, so the car is actually ready for the fitting tires in. So let's get tools and start to put it together. Yeah, and the last wheel hub and wheel flange meets together. It goes in quite easy because already learned the technique. If you don't need to lose time for cleaning and wandering the tools. But I'm always worried about if I rush too much and forget something and then happens something what I cannot undone. Always stay focused what you do. You see, if this is aligned and the flange is cold and the hub and bearing a little bit warm, it goes in, you can just turn with by hand. Then when this one is done, we can start to install ball joints here and put the wheel hub back in the car and then start to fitting brake parts. Now it's tight. Like that. Do it correct, do it once. If you make it twice, it's quite double expensive or triple expensive. Ball bearing, wheel bearing set is complete. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's start to prepare the upper ball joint, lower ball joint fittings. And in these old ball joints, I have this adjusting bracket which I need to remove, and I think it's quite stuck here. And you should look some previous episode. I showed you how to remove the ball joint from the wishbone arm. I think there was a number 3 sleeve. It should be for the removing this ball joint from here. So let's see, is this possible? I put this smaller collar here and let's put this, and then yeah, I think so. This is possible if I can fit it here. Yeah, like this. My table is full of parts, but I put this in a vise here. Otherwise you need that 50mm or 48mm French. Yeah, and it's off. Yeah, this tool is quite good. There is nice clear zinc, but I have a color here. Perhaps I need to paint it, I'm not sure. I need to clean this first. There are marks. As you see, there is L as a left and here is R like a right. But the part number is same. That's a special. Yeah, now it's off. Yeah, someone makes some hittings here. It's not me, so someone changed this ball joint before earlier. So I take this upper ball joint from the freeze. I'm going to put here a little bit copper grease anyway. I'm not sure allowed to put here, but I think it can go in better, and you perhaps possible to take it off there several years later. It's a tapper fitting, so I think the grease, it's not the problem there. We need this bigger sleeve, of course. This bigger sleeve allows the head go in, and ball joint hanging in this edge. How I can manage to install this tool here, like this, and then yeah, like that. Ball joint straight here. Now it should go in. It's tightening now. I'm not sure how deep it should. So do I need to tightening this 100%? Perhaps it's possible to fit it all the way. Let's check. Yeah, that's it. So this tool is very perfect for this job. The joint is on the place. There is a new locking rings, couple of screwdrivers can make this job. I don't know what I do for those adjusting brackets because there is a pristine zinc coating, so I'm not want to sanding them and painting if the zinc coating is fine. Okay, again, let's put this copper grease to this hole. Let's keep this bolt very well greased, and again put this upper sleeve in the place, and then the tool, and then the bolt joint. This is how I done it. Yeah, I think it's straight. Just tightening it all the way in. And the bolt joint is freezing cold. I think it's quite all the way in now. Yeah, that's it. Clip on. So definitely this tool set you don't need often, but when you have it, it helps your nerves a lot. Wiping a little bit grease off and put it back in the box. This toolbox I'm not going to take with me traveling around the world. I think the upper bolt joint is not what you need to make all the time. I show you something about coatings. I take some nut, I paint myself because it was rusty. I'm not want to go to lose time for take to zinc coating. And these are 30-40 microns. And these brackets, I check the coating. There's still some coating, so these are fine, this part. And I show you the factory zinc nut, 40 microns or something. But why these brake seals rusting very fast? I got a brand new brake seals and these are zinc coated, but look the coating layer, it's only 10 microns. And let's check inside, 16, 8, almost nothing. So there are so thin layers, so that's why they're rusting so quick. But I'm not going to paint this one or resinking this one. These are quite cheap parts and you can get the new one all the time, so they could last anyway few years, I think so. So before I install wheel hubs, I know this it's better I put the steering rack on, and I think this might be the car's original. There is a Volkswagen logo. Definitely I need to clean this and restore this to save if the new one is failed. But this is rebuilt steering rack. There is another Volkswagen number, and I have a really troubles to find correct parts because this numbers, any numbers, this VW Syncro is different. But I found out all the time, if you take another Volkswagen part number, they are actually same parts. Here everything looks similar, but these gaiters looks different. I have this bigger rubber inside. Perhaps I need to change this because these rod ends have this kind of rubber which fits to this end here. So yeah, I think this end is same. They just spray this with the black and they don't clean it very well either. So it's not very perfect part. Yeah, it's the same size. I can put this in without the gaiters. I want to know how you can tightening this here. There's no anything where you can lock. There is some scratch. So then I need to install these new bushings. I don't need to take it from old one. I'm going to put some soap here and try to squeeze them in. The gaiter which goes over this joint, it's not available anymore. I cleaned this old one, steering rack, and the new, it's not the new one, it's just a rebuild. It's not very clean and it's not near perfect anything, but I put some vulcanizing tape here to the pipe because the original has some kind of protection sleeve here. So, and I looked the parts numbers, and this mine is made in 1995, and the parts numbers are a bit different, not much. The first digits are same, the last one, mine are 207 and the new one is 188. There is a very tiny difference in this area. A new one have a different cuts here, but the pipes are same place, and here is the one place which is minor difference. So I don't know why they change the parts number so often, and actually parts are interchangeable, but they are different numbers. So perhaps it's just some kind of trick. They try to sell new parts and they say it's not available. I think this is just a dust cap. There is some O-ring. I needed to take it from the old one to the new one, and like this. I don't believe this have anything else to do than just the dust cover. Perhaps I put this one in this slot direction, and I'm already centerized. Then I put this gap here. It's quite tight, but it was tight to take off. So now I can see the mark here when it's center. Let's see how I can manage to install this. I'm just think about if I put here liquid soap and try to push it in. So this is some hand washing soap. If you buy the new steering rack and there's no bushing inside, you should have some tools. Yeah. I managed to push inside first bushing just with the pliers. It's not a very proper way, but I don't have a hydraulic press, so put the lubricate here enough and a little bit to the hole. I use this kind of here. It's quite brutal way, but yeah, it starts to sliding in. Yeah, almost there. I think it's in now. Just look from this side, so the rubber comes over the edge like that for all four pieces. I think this tie rod ends. I think there is not anything difference left side and right side, only this end. But this is the right side, and it should be coming here. I don't really know what is the correct way to tightening this inner ball joint, and it's quite tricky to tightening it properly. I have this 35mm wrench. It should be 34mm, but I don't have. I need to use some extra 1mm spacer there. So I'm going to put the treat lock here, because I'm not trust I can tightening it so strong. I don't know what is the correct torque here. I cannot use any torque wrench, so I just put it in like this using this treat lock. Perhaps I don't need to never anymore in my life change this. And I need to use this kind of tool here to lock here, and then I have to use this spacer here to tightening this bolt. Now let's see how it goes. I don't know how strong I need to tightening it. I think it's okay. It's never going to go out there anymore. Always you leave some markings here in this axle, and that's the problem. But actually there's no any seal inside here where it slides, because it's not the oil in this area. Oil is in here. And here another end also you see some markings when somebody else opened this before. But here is this thinner section, so if you have any scratch in this end, you don't need to mind that. Yeah, I think it's nice enough. Now we have a tie rod ends. Okay, let's see, do I manage to install this rack here without removing stabilization bar, because instruction manual say open the stabilization bar and put it up, but I think it's because when the engine is on, I have to take the rack off perhaps behind. We don't have engine here, and I'm already check those rod ends in the place, and now it's very long, so I need to put it very long way to another side. I think so, if I trying to manage to put it in. I see it's possible to put it in all the way enough. Quite a small place, but I think, yeah, about in the place. So I don't have those rubbers gaiters yet. I put those later when they're coming, and perhaps next week should move it here. I think so. Then I take off this sleeve. I think this way it's fine. Yeah, now it's going in. Put the slot in the middle so the bolt can go in. And this bolt, the manual say it should change all the time because I think it's stretching bolt. This rubber I have some kind of issue because it's so big like this. I think it should lock here. What the f***? Is it again happen something? I get the bushings with the two small holes and I didn't check this. I need to drill those holes bigger. Is it possible or not? I need to take this off and drill those holes to 10 millimeter. So could you believe this can happen also? Let's drill and see what happens. Yeah, it's possible drill, but I don't need to burn this because otherwise the bush can melt. So drill it slowly. It's almost there. I take this part number from the parts catalog, so there is something wrong in the parts book. Yeah. Let's check if the bolt can go in or do I need to take it one size more. Now it's okay. I'm not going to filming all this. The first wheel hub start to be in the place. Then I can put the suspension so this is not hanging too low. And then I can put those torsion bar bolts and install the brakes. So now we have a shock installed here to the mounting bracket and I tightening this 25 Newton meter. We have this new bolt, lower mounting bolt. So let's put it in the car. A little bit copper paste. This bolt is quite fine. Another side was the treat was a little bit beaten. So I'm going to save these original bolts, but I'm not use them right now. Anyway, when I put the drive shafts in, I need to remove the shocks mounting bolt, but the upper mountings can stay here in the place with the new bolt here. And then I need to pull off this. Yeah, that's it. The shock is in the place. There is a quite special size 7 millimeter Allen key. So because we don't need to take off this anymore, so I can tightening this already complete. This bolts I don't tightening yet because I need to take it off when I put the drive shafts on. I'm not going to tighten this very well yet. Make a wheel align adjustments. First just need to leave it to the about center position right now. There's really not so long movement here. This position here is the place which limitates the movement. Yeah, like this. Yeah, I need to take these brackets off from the old brake calipers. I need to take out these brake lines. Perhaps these pipes are also not so rusty. Possible use this, but I have a new copper nickel pipes. If you're able to take these brackets to Zinc-coating, they can be very nice. This kind of tool, you get better grip from the pipe ends. I put the last evening WD-40 here, lots of, that's why they are still wet. So yeah, the bolt could open too. Yeah, and this one I need to clean. There is a lots of wind here in Finland now and snow blizzard. It's already spring, still coming snow blizzard. Okay, now I managed to fix these new brake pipes. It was very tricky to bend it here so it's able to fit in this place. This was the original pipes. The problem with these are there was a little bit rust already a coming and I didn't want to use these. This is the worst place where they are short with the tire. So, and this one I bent too short, couldn't fit here. This one I make 1 centimeter shorter than what I buy. These are my practices. So I forget to say, I have this kind of Gedore bending tool. It's already a little bit kinked, and you don't do anything with this tool to bending those pipes because those are so short. This is not a good tool for copper paste here. After we put the brake seals, we can put the brake disc and calipers. These T4 brake seals are actually only half turn. I don't know why they are not going to all the way around. Don't tight this much, they're going to snap. I don't know what is this brand. K27 Auto Parts. Oh, this is a Finnish brand, Koivunen. That's their own brand. Some another factory, I don't know what factory do that for them. The oil is very dry. I have this degreaser what I use for painting. I think this is just fine for decreasing the brake also. These are very old stock, new old stock. There is a very nice machining surface. Let's go put it in. And there is this spring. We have a new bolt. This comes with the bolt joint kit. Just be here holding this disc in a place when you putting parts together. And then we take this bracket copper paste for the bolts all the way. This bolt should be 280 Newton meters. I'm going to torque this to 210. I don't have a torque wrench. 280 Newton meters, so this is not correct, but I'm turn it and then a little bit more. And a little bit more, like that. They are sure tight enough. And a little bit more. Let's take a... They are about 280 Newton meter. This partially narrowing pin I think should be in up. I had a discussion in the T4 forums in Finland and England. All advices goes, this one is the first if you think about the tire rotating, and this is the second, this slotted one. So in the set of the pins have a grease. So we put this grease. I try to put the half grease in the upper and then the half in the down. It looks like there's not much, but it's definitely enough. Put it over the edge also, so the rubber have a grease also. It's not wants to go in because of the grease. It's not allows to air coming out. Then we should put the rubbers on. This one is nice in the place. Another side I use this pliers for forcing it. Yeah, it goes in slowly. When the air comes off, now we are able to install caliper. I'm going to put here a little bit copper paste, just a thin layer. We don't need the grease end up to the disc. So I have a Brembo brake pads. There is no any anti-squeak material behind the pad, so I hope it's not going to have a problem. But it's quite easy to take it out. Just open the one bolt, turn the caliper up if there is a squeak. So, and you need to use new bolts. Put the upper bolt on the place, and you see there's no pads in yet. Now we flip it up and put the pads on. Yeah, very easy to install. There's no have anything to hold the pads on the place. Cylinder goes in and the lower pin, and that's it. And look, the springs correct position here, and that's it. Then put the lower bolt. Then we need to put the brake hose. I'm going to tighten this with moment wrench later. So we need this brake hose retaining clamp and put it here into this bracket. So now you need to look it goes all right way, correct way. So I think it should be like this. You cannot turn it another way. A little bit tricky to bend this pipe correct, so you turn it not correct 100%. It's tricky to get the bolt in. And again, this 8 grade M6 bolt, not over tight. This pipe is a little bit too up. There is just a 1mm gap. Perhaps I need to turn this bracket just a tiny bit up, like this. And this brake line, you can see, is it fine only when fluid inside, and then you just tightening it a bit more if there is a leak. So as you see how deep curves you need to bend here. Another side I have a 1 centimeter shorter this pipe, so at that side it was easier. Okay, now this side brake is okay, and then you check these rubbers. They need to take care of this hose. This rubber touch this bracket, and but when you're driving it should be like this, so it's not touch anywhere. When you're driving normal, it's gonna be like this. Almost forgot to tightening these bolts. 35 Newton meter. These are tiny bolts. They only just carry the caliper, is not rough in the road. Yeah, like this. I changed my mind. First I think I going to install rear brakes in this video, but I'm going to end this here. Next video we install the rear brakes and then we assemble drive shafts. So that's going to be in next video. I cannot install yet the front drive shaft because I don't have an engine and gearbox in there, but we can assemble those already, and the rear shafts can be installed in place. And that's it for this video, and see you in next week. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Remember, it costs nothing. So see you.
Thank you for watching and see you in next episode.
GKN. I think the speed on GKN Lebreu is one and the same company. And I have a lots of CV joints here. We are going to install this in next video. I can tell you a little bit about CV boots and materials, rubbers.